We're finally at this point once again, the best, the worst of the year. Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list. Welcome to my top 10 best movies of 2017. Yes, we have finally come to an end almost. Yes, the year is not quite over yet, but I've basically seen all the movies that I pretty much needed to see and stuff, and I thought right now, I might as well do my top 10 best and worst of the year, or my favorite or least favorite of the year, however you want to word it and stuff, and yeah, I'm excited to do this list. Every year I do this list, and every year I'm always curious to see what I put on the list and stuff, and again, this is all strictly opinion. This is my opinion. These are just my favorite movies of the year. Some people might hate these movies, some people might love these movies, it doesn't matter. It's all opinion. It's all subjective. We were all put on this planet to have different tastes and different opinions, so yes, my opinions might be way different than some people's, so you just gotta live with it. This is just my top 10 personal favorite movies of 2017, and this was a difficult list to make because there's some movies I had to rewatch a few times, and I'm like, maybe this one's better, maybe, and then there's other movies I gave better grades to other films, but I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have, maybe that film is better than that film stuff, so I don't think a lot of people are going to know what movies are on my top 10 list. I think everyone knows what my number one is, but I don't think people will know every movie on this top 10 list, so it might be a bit of a surprise for some people. But yeah, let's quit stalling, shall we? Here's my top 10 best movies of 2017. And yes, before a top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. And my honorable mentions are Spider-Man Homecoming, Wonder Woman, The Disaster Artist, John Wick Chapter 2, Dunkirk, Coco, Get Out, Detroit, Ingrid Goes West, Only the Brave, and The Big Sick. Yes, The Big Sick was the closest movie to make the top 10 list, and yeah, I was going to put it on my top 10, but then my number 10 movie, I'm like, okay, maybe that movie is a little better and I did like it more. Even though I gave The Big Sick a perfect rating, and this other one on my number 10, I didn't give it perfect rating, but I kind of regretted not giving the movie a perfect rating like The Big Sick, so yeah. Alright, so let's get to it. Coming in at number 10 is the movie Lady Bird. Lady Bird is directed by Greta Gerwig, and this stars Laurie Metcalf, Saoirse Ronan, what's his name from Manchester by the Sea? I'm blanking on his name. Lucas Hedges. My god, it took me like 2 minutes to figure out. Yes, this is a great coming-of-age story, and it's a brilliant dramatic comedy and stuff, and if you love movies like Perks of Being a Wallflower, or even Edge of 17, you'll probably love this movie, but this movie actually has more realism. It just has more of a dramatic style than those films, but this is a great story with great characters, great comedy, great drama, great plots, and just everything about this movie I absolutely adored, and this is easily one of my favorites of the year, and I cannot wait for this movie to take a few Academy Awards. I'm betting that Saoirse Ronan will win Best Actress, who knows, but still, Lady Bird, hands down one of the best of the year. Coming in number 9 is probably one of the most fun movies I had at the show. Like, when I saw this movie, I just had an utter blast with this film. I saw it twice in theaters because it's just such a fun movie, such a hilarious movie, a great action-packed movie. And yes, of course, it's probably the best installment of the MCU of this year, and that is Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok may not have hit well with everybody. Some people might have not have liked it and stuff because people probably wanted more of a serious film and stuff because of Ragnarok is a serious story, but they put more of a comedic edge in this film, and some people did not like that. I loved it. I had so much fun with this movie. This is just a fun, sci-fi, epic, hilarious, fun movie. This movie felt like it came out in like the 80s. It was like an 80s fun, swashbuckling sci-fi film, and it was just so much fun to watch. It was one of the most fun movies I watched this year. I loved Chris Hemsworth as Thor, his buddy relationship with Mark Ruffalo, Bruce Banner the Hulk, and this movie is so much fun. All their scenes together are great. There's a red villain, Hela, played by Cate Blanchett. She was great. The side story with Heimdall was great. Loki was great. Thor going on this like gladiator planet, and it has Jeff Goldblum in it, is just always great, and I absolutely loved it. It had a lot of great cameos with Doctor Strange and stuff. Great visuals, great action, great side characters. Taika Waititi, what he did with this movie was so great. How he directed and constructed the film was really well done. Cinematography was great. I thought the writing was nice and quick and witty. Everything about it was just so much fun, so entertaining, and yeah, that's why a lot of people do go to the movies, is to be entertained. And this was the most entertaining film probably of the year. Yes, again, a lot of people didn't like it, but hey, it's all opinion. I had so much fun with this movie. It made me feel like a kid when I was watching this film, and yeah, I loved it. Coming in at number 8 is a film I guarantee no one's going to have on their top 10 best of the year, and that is Colossal. Colossal stars Anne Hathaway, Dan Stevens, Jason Sudeikis, and this is a very different story. This is a very unique story. It is a dramatic comedy sci-fi story. Basically, it's about a girl who's like an alcoholic and stuff, and she moves back to her old town and stuff because her boyfriend breaks up with her. And then she finds out there's this like kaiju, this monster, attacking this city in like Japan or something. And she finds out that she's connected with the monster. She herself is the monster. And when she goes into this playground at a certain time, she becomes the monster. And she's the one that's accidentally destroying this city and everything. And yeah, there's a unique spin with her and Jason Sudeikis. I won't spoil it because it ruins the movie and stuff. And I know a lot of people haven't seen this film, but this is just such a unique and original idea. I love weird, out there, original films, and this was a damn great film. I'm really sad that a lot of people did not see this film. I hope people do, especially after this top 10 list. I hope you guys check this movie out. I thought this was a great film. I thought it was unique, it was funny, had a great character study, a great character arc for Anne Hathaway's character. I thought she gave a fantastic performance. Also, Jason Sudeikis as well was really great. I thought this was just an all-around, well-written film, and it had good visuals too and stuff, and the way they do the twist at the ending was really well done, and just, I absolutely love this film, and it's easily one of my favorites of the year. Coming in at number 7 is Baby Driver, directed by one of my favorite filmmakers, Edgar Wright. This is easily one of the best action films of the year. It's such a great, stylistic, unique action film. Again, anything Edgar Wright touches is just gold and fantastic. I love this movie. About this like getaway driver, he drives through all these criminals and stuff, and he has a ringing in the ear, so he uses music to drown out the noise and everything, and I love this movie. It's funny, but it's also a great action film. The way the music blends with the action sequences is just so stylistic and so freaking cool. I absolutely love this film. I loved all the performances. Ansel Elgort was great. Jamie Foxx's Bats was awesome. You got John Hamm and even a small role of John Bernthal. It was just really great. I loved these characters. I loved this story. Again, it was just a really fun, entertaining film, and I think it's easily one of the best action films of the year, and easily one of my favorites. Coming number 6 is probably the most controversial film of the entire year, which is so weird. I never thought this movie would be this controversial. Critics are loving this film, and audiences aren't loving it that much and stuff, and some people are just calling it one of the worst of the franchise, and I strongly disagree. I'm proud of myself for actually putting it on this top 10 list. So many people are going to disagree with me, but people just need to realize it's all opinion. And this is actually one of my favorite movies of the year, and that is Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Yes, I just the controversy for this film and how decisive this film is just so bizarre. Like, I never thought it would have this much hate. There are so many people that hate this movie and are calling it the worst Star Wars movie. It's worse than the prequels, and I'm like, really? Worse than the prequels? Really? I love this movie. I went into so much depth about this movie. I did a whole 11-minute review. I did a spoiler talk on Ryan O'Toole's channel. I loved this film. There are a couple issues I had with it, but I think all in all, it is a thinky film. It is an ambitious film. It is a smart film. It's a different Star Wars film, and I guess people just didn't like that it was a different Star Wars film. I get that, sure. Yeah, that was a lot of people's complaints with The Force Awakens. Everyone's like, oh, that's too much like the original Star Wars. Now this one's too different. They're all like, it's too freaking different. Whatever. I don't know if this movie is as good as The Force Awakens. Only time will tell with that, but I still think this is one of my favorites of the year, and I think it's a damn great Star Wars film, and yeah, I loved it. Coming in number 5 is probably the best romantic film of the year. It's a very moving, very touching story, and that is Call Me By Your Name. Call Me By Your Name is so amazing, wonderfully acted. Timothy Chalamet and Armie Hammer are both going to get Oscar nominations, and who knows, they both might win. They're both amazing in this film. They both have incredible chemistry. Michael Stuhlbarg is also fantastic in this film. Give him a supporting actor. He's so good. The way this movie is shot in Italy is just beautiful. The cinematography is fantastic. The editing is great. And I loved the story. I'm not familiar with the story. It's based off a novel. Again, I have not read. But this story is so good. It's such a layered story, such a complex story. And this was during the times that like homosexuality was very frowned upon and it was not accepted in society. So it just adds to the intrigue of the story and the plot and these characters, and I absolutely love this film. And yes, it's also about a relationship, about an age difference relationship, because Armie Hammer is so much older than Timothée Chalamet's character, so again, it adds to the intrigue of the story. They both have fantastic chemistry in this movie. They both give amazing performances in this film. It has a very emotional ending and stuff, and there's just a lot of things that happen in this movie are just amazing. I won't spoil it, because I know a lot of people still haven't seen this movie, but if you haven't seen it, try to find it and find this movie playing in some theater, because you need to see this movie. It is a damn great film, a very compelling, dramatic film. The writing, the direction, cinematography, the performances, everything is absolutely brilliant and easily one of the best of the year. Coming number 4 is also a romance movie in a way, but instead of between two men, it's between a female and a fish-like monster. And yes, that's The Shape of Water. The Shape of Water is directed by Guillermo del Toro. I love Guillermo del Toro. Even his new movies like Crimson Peak, I love them. I love Pan's Labyrinth. I love Hellboy, Hellboy 2. I love the work of Guillermo del Toro. I think he's a great visionary. He's got a great style of direction and stuff, and I loved what he did with this movie. I think this is a great film with a great story. Sally Hawkins is amazing. She is so good. Michael Shannon, Michael Stuhlbarg again, Richard Jenkins, Octavia Spencer. Everyone's fantastic. Doug Jones as the creature is also really good. The effects look fantastic. The love story works very well for the film. There's a lot of great atmosphere and a lot of great quiet moments that are very moving, and it sets the tone very well, incredibly well and stuff, and I absolutely adore this film. Easily one of my favorites of the year. Again, it's going to be an Oscar contender, and I'll be rooting for it Oscar season because it's amazing. Coming number 3 is a movie that could have easily been my number 2, because my number 2 and my number 3 were going like back and forth. I'm like, no, this is my number 2. No, this is my number 2. No, this is my number 2. I just couldn't decide. My number 1 was a gimme. It was very easy, but my number 2 and my number 3, I'm like, oh my god, which one do I like more? They're both equally amazing. So this number 3 can easily change. My 2 and 3 can easily change throughout the years. But as it stands right now, my number 3 is that movie right there. Yes, War for the Planet of the Apes. Yes, did you think I was going to say Blade Runner? No. War for the Planet of the Apes. Caesar is here. Yes, apes together, strong. I love this movie. This is a great, amazing, epic conclusion to this fantastic trilogy. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, both incredible films. War for the Planet of the Apes ended up being even better than both of them combined. This is easily the best Planet of the Apes film I've ever watched, even better than the Charlton Heston one, which is also a fantastic film. This is just a great, riveting, dramatic story. Yes, it has war in the title, but it's not quite a war film. It is more of a war between two people and stuff, and the things that happen in this movie are just so bleak and so dark and just so emotional. I absolutely love this film. The way this movie is shot and all the snow sequences look fantastic. Andy Serkis is amazing as Caesar. Give him an Oscar nomination already. He is just so freaking good. So good. I loved Steve Zahn as Bad Ape. I loved all the ape characters. The little girl was fantastic. Woody Harrelson was also a really great villain, very compelling villain. He's a villain you do understand, 'cause you understand, even though he does really despicable, horrible things, You understand why he's doing it, because he is so afraid of losing his human race and stuff. And this is a fantastic film. It's a very, very dark film, and the third act feels very Schindler's List-esque, and I think this is a terrific film. It's a moving film. I was almost bawling in almost 3 different scenes, and yeah, easily one of my favorites of the year, and I absolutely adore this film. Apes, together, strong. Coming number 2 is my favorite comic book movie of the entire year, and I think this might be my top 5 favorite comic book movies of all time, and that is Logan. Logan. This movie came out near the beginning of the year, and it floored me. It freaking floored me. Like, it was just incredible. Hugh Jackman's performance is fantastic. Hands down the best performance of the year he gives. Yes, I know he'll probably get nominated for The Greatest Showman. I saw that movie. He's good in that movie, but he is way better in Logan. He is so freaking compelling, so amazing in Logan. Patrick Stewart is also fantastic in this film. The way they did with X-23 was also really great. Everything about this movie just worked perfectly for me. They took the Old Man Logan story, but added a new style to it and added different plot elements to it and made it a different story. It's Old Man Logan, but also their own thing, and it's incredible. It's incredibly well done. James Mangold did an amazing job. I always thought 3:10 to Yuma was his best film, but Logan's now James Mangold's best film. This is just such a well-made, well-constructed film. It's a great post-Western kind of movie. I love the action scenes. I love that it's a hard R-rated film, and it's just so freaking amazing. It's so deep. It's so thought-provoking. Everything about it just worked perfectly for me. It's hands down my second favorite movie of 2017. And my number 1 favorite, or my number 1 best movie of 2017 is a movie made by probably one of the greatest filmmakers of our times now. He is just so freaking good. Out of our generation, he's easily one of the best filmmakers. He's Canadian, and he's just amazing. And the funniest thing is, last year, one of his films last year made my number 1, and yet again, a film that he made my number 1 once again. And this is a movie that's a sequel to my favorite film of all time. Yes, I'm not very subtle of what my number 1 is. It's Blade Runner 2049. Yes, Blade Runner 2049 is the best movie of 2017, in my opinion. I'm annoyed that it didn't do well in the box office, but I'm glad a lot of people loved it. I'm glad a lot of critics loved it. I'm glad there was a praise for it, even though it didn't do well in the box office. Denis Villeneuve did an amazing job with this film. The world is fantastic. This is probably some of the best cinematography I've ever seen in a movie this year. The visuals are fantastic. Ryan Gosling as Officer K is so compelling, so riveting. He's just such a complex protagonist, and I love him in this film. I won't spoil anything about his character, because apparently no one's seen this goddamn movie according to the box office. So good, though. Harrison Ford, I'd give him a supporting actor nomination, because he doesn't play the traditional grumpy Harrison Ford like he's been doing in a lot of films. He's actually great, and he actually feels like the old Rick Deckard, but older Rick Deckard and stuff. And Dave Bautista in his one scene is great. Bacard Abdit in his one scene is great. Jared Leto's even very good. Robin Wright is really good. Everyone is fantastic in this film. It's got some action scenes, and they're done incredibly well. This is more of a dramatic, thinking, sci-fi, thought-provoking, profound film, just like the original Blade Runner. It's not as good as the original Blade Runner, because the original Blade Runner is my favorite film of all time, but this movie is damn close. It is like the Terminator 2. It is like the Aliens of the franchise. And everyone's probably thinking, wait a minute, Terminator 2 and Aliens are the best of the franchise. Not according to me. I like the first Terminator more, and I like the first Alien more. It's the same thing with Blade Runner. I like the first Blade Runner more. But still, Blade Runner 2049 is an amazing film. This film, even though it didn't do well in the box office, I know for a fact it'll stand the test of time. This is a film that people in film school will be studying and stuff and learning how to properly make a film. This is just an incredible sci-fi masterpiece, and Denis Villeneuve, again, once again proves that he is just a genius filmmaker, and it's just an amazing film, and easily the best of the year, hands down. So yeah, that's my top 10 best movies of 2017, in my opinion. Sorry, in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with this top 10 list? You probably didn't, but if you didn't, please in the comment section below, please tell me what are your top 10 favorite or best movies of 2017 in your opinion. Comment below, let me know. And as always, for this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.